Hey everyone, Awkrin the Gamer here. I apologize for not being able to make a video in the past couple of weeks. Job always comes first, and that's just what's been happening. So I've been too busy, but hey, trying to make videos now. I really like it. So this is going to be my add-on video, which a couple of people have requested both in the comments and emailed me for. So I'm going to go over the main add-ons that I use. I'm not going to go too in-depth with how to set them up. If you're interested in any specific add-on that you would like to see more in depth, whether it be the setup of it, or how to manipulate the settings to make it work for you, please just go ahead and leave that in the comments below or email that to me, and I can go ahead and make a specific video, maybe 5-6 minutes for that one specific add-on. So with that being said, we'll go ahead to the second issue. If you haven't noticed, or you may have noticed, yes, I am Alliance now, and I'm sure some of you hate me for it, but I am sorry. When it comes down to it, I pay to play the game, and because I'm in Japan, I was not able to find a guild with an opening on the Horde side for the times that I need to raid, or for the times that I'm available to raid. On the Alliance, I was able to find that, so I went to Alliance, and that's just how it is. So I'm actually pretty excited. I do like the aesthetics of the Alliance a little bit more, and the music, I do enjoy the music. I've just been playing the Horde since the end of BC, so I haven't played Alliance at all, so it's just kind of nice to go back. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this add-on guide. Alright, so the first one, I have two rules. Rule number one about add-ons: the add-on has to have a purpose. If it's just there to make things look better or look cool or do anything, I don't waste my time with it. It wastes space on the system, it bogs down WoW a little bit. You may be like, oh, it's not going to affect my game. Fine, good on you, but to me, I'm not going to waste time with add-ons that make no sense. Okay, so it has to have a purpose. And two, I don't want it to clutter my screen. I've seen add-ons all over here, there's bars going all which way. I don't know what the hell they're doing, and I don't know what the person looking at them, so I don't know what they're thinking, because half the time I can't see what's going on. And that's very important to know what's going on. If you don't believe me, go back and look at some vanilla WoW videos. I mean, sometimes their add-ons are just completely their entire screen. So those are my two rules. Make sure they have a purpose, and try to keep it where it doesn't clutter your screen, because you want to be able to know what you're doing. You want to be able to see where the boss is going and where your raid members are at. Okay, so for the first add-on, it's going to be Bartender. I believe it's actually Bartender 4. Alright, this will allow you to manipulate your action bar like I have done down here. As you have already noticed, I do not have the default Blizzard frame with the 2 bars over here, the 2 bars down here, and the 2 bars above. I have switched it up. And I like it this way because everything's a little bit more compact. I already know what my spells do, I already know what they're keybind to. I just need to have them on here so I can kind of see them, keep track of the cooldowns. That's why they're there, and so I can cast them, alright? So now I have all this extra space over on my side, over down here. It's just so much extra space. So that's why I have Bartender. Now, Bartender is really easy to manipulate. You just right click on the Bartender 4 icon, comes up with this, where you can have all up to 10 bars. Alright, so we're just going to manipulate bar number 1. I'm going to show you how easy this is. Alright, so first you can disable it, enable it. Alright, how easy is that? The scale, make it big, you can make it small. I don't know why you need a bar that fucking small, but you know what, to each his own. I'm not going to judge. Next is going to be the padding. How close are the bar or the buttons next to each other? I like to have it on nice 6. It's about where they're touching but not overlapping. My OCD comes into play a little bit there. And then of course, how many buttons would you like? You can have one big button, one small button, up to 12 buttons. I only have 8 for my rows. I use a Razer Naga, so I bind all my keys there or to my keyboard. And when you get into the 9, 10, 11, 12, my thumb isn't really the best at going there, so I don't put my spells there until I'm going to need them. Now, before they did the items or the ability squish, and you had all these other, I had all of my spells keybound, but now I just have 1 through 8, shift 1 through 8, and then on my keyboard. Okay, so you can have as many as you want, and you can have it, vertical. You can have it horizontal. So there's a lot of different options. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go too in depth with this. But one thing that is fantastic is how mobile it is. Like, I can put the bars wherever you want. You can have them over here, you can have them up here. It doesn't matter. You can put them where you want, and then you can lock them. Alright, key binding is also really easy. Now, if you look right here, this is no longer keybind. If I'm pressing 8, I am pressing 8 right now and nothing is happening. Oh, I want to go ahead and keybind this button 8. I just mouse over it. I click the button on my mouse, which I'd like to keybind, or on my keyboard. Press OK, and then if I were to have less mana, I'd be able to use my mana potion. Simple as that. No more going into the menu, trying to find the bar that it correlates with where the spell is at. You just mouse over it and you press the button that you need. This will lock the bars like this. This will lock the buttons. So like right now I can move this, or if you're a clicker, please, for the love of God, do not be a clicker. But you can go ahead and lock these so that way you don't accidentally click and then drag off the spell like that. Alright. So it doesn't matter for me because I don't click buttons. And I like to move buttons around randomly. Alright, so that is Bartender 4. Next will be the raid frames that you use to heal. Some people target each individual player to heal him. I hate doing it that way. I like to use raid frames. So you can either use Grid, you can use Healbot. Both of those are great add-ons that you can use, and I used to use them until Blizzard implemented their own, which I think is actually better because it's so much easier to change stuff up with it. So this is one of the few things that I like that Blizzard has implemented. There's a lot of add-ons that they steal from, and they just don't like. I don't like them as much. But you go into interface, game, you go to raid profiles. I use it for the party, so I can have it 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, or 5. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it if you're by yourself. So you'll have to kind of mess with this on your own a little bit, but you can go ahead and set it up so it automatically activates on the type of group, and you can set up the profile for each group if you'd like. I used to have it, then I switched to Alliance, and it deleted them all, so now I have to go through and do them again. The talent spec that it will activate on, and PvP or PvE. Now, I do not like to keep groups together. I like to just have it whatever. Priests might like to keep the groups together just because they have that one spell that heals the groups, so that way they can see what group is taking the most damage. That's up to them, but that is an option if you would like to do it that way. Display incoming heals I have checked because if someone's getting healed and I see the heals incoming, I'm not going to heal them. It's just a waste of mana. They're already getting healed, so I'm going to heal somebody else that's taking damage. I don't care about power bars, display aggro. This isn't as important. I used to use this a lot when we had Hand of Sacrifice, when we could actually take aggro away from people, but at this point it doesn't really matter, so I just leave it checked. It just lets me know if I take aggro, which I'm a healer, so that doesn't happen. Display class colors, if you don't have this checked, everything will be green. I absolutely hate it all being green. I like to see everybody's class colors, so I have this checked. So if you're Paladin, you'll see pink for Paladin, orange for Druid, etc., etc. I don't care about pets, heal your own damn pets. Display, main tank, and assist. This is a must, I feel, for Paladins if you're using this. This will allow us to easily find the tank and off tank, so that way we can put our beacons on them. Also, these raid frames will display those beacons, so that way if it falls off for some reason, they die, you can see it's missing, and then you can put it back on there. This also works for druids. You can see all the hots. Well, you can see up to 3 hots on each player, so it's just a good way to sort out where the tanks are, and you can easily find them within a mass of people, especially if you're doing more than 10 people. Display border. I don't like the border. It just makes it bigger, so why would I want to do that? Show debuffs. Now, obviously you should always have show debuffs checks as a healer because you can cleanse the debuffs. Now, you can do display only dispellable debuffs. That's okay, and some people probably would do it, but I don't like it, and real quick, this is why. If this member over here, Frankie, if Frankie has 5 debuffs and Joey has 2 debuffs, well, I know they're both taking damage and I can't cleanse any of them, but I know that Frankie has 5, so he's going to be taking more damage more rapidly, so I know that I'm going to have to prepare to heal him more than I'm going to have to heal Joey. Now, if I don't have this on, it's just going to show them both taking damage. Well, I don't know who's going to take more damage, I just know that they're both taking damage. This will allow me to prioritize who will be taking more damage, so it's just going to help out in the healing in the long run. And then, of course, frame height and frame width. So I'm sure you can figure that out, and that's all we're going to talk about the interface for the raid frames. Now, This, if you go into your spellbook, is probably the bread and butter of healing add-ons. Click, C-L-I-Q-U-E. So when you open Click, you can basically, I'm gonna do this real quick. If I go over my guy and I right click, I'm going to cast Flash of Light, and that's just me right clicking my mouse. Okay. Now if I go to Click and I delete this binding, I want to delete it. There we go. Now when I go over my person, it's not going to cast Flash of Light. Click will allow me to mouse over my spells, push buttons on my mouse, and keybind them to it. That way when I'm in the raid frames, no matter what you're using, Click, Healbot, or the internal one that Blizzard has, when I mouse over them, it will cast that spell. Now, there are a couple things that you should know. Be careful when you're in this, because if you click anything else, any other button, it will bind it to that button. So be careful. Second, when you first start, this target clicked unit and show unit menus will be automatically left button and right button. If you bind a spell to that like I have, my Holy Light is left button and my Flash of Light is right button, it's going to share the same button, so when you're in combat it may not cast the heal but open that menu. So I would highly recommend either deleting these or changing the key binding. So I just changed it to control left. So now instead of opening or targeting it, it's going to cast Holy Light. If I need to target someone, I just quickly push control and then left click. You can do it how you want, but just make sure that you don't overlap on the key bindings, because it could cause you to cast something you don't want to, or prevent you from casting something when you want to. And then the last thing to know about Click is that, for instance, I have down here on my bar, keybind through Bartender, that when I press 2, I cast Execution Sentence. When I cast Shift 2, I cast Devotion Aura. Now when I go into here in this menu, if you look, cast Execution Sentence is Shift 2. Well, Shift 2 down here is Devotion Aura. Shift 2 here is cast Execution Sentence. They're two different spells keybind to the same thing. So you're going to be like, oh, well, they're overlapping. It's going to randomly cast one. Not exactly. This will only cast when you're targeted over someone's raid frame. So if I'm not targeting anyone's raid frame. If I control 2, I'm going to cast Devotion Aura. If I'm targeting over the raid frame, just like this, mouse over, and I click control 2, it's going to cast Execution Sentence. Now, normally I don't run with the Execution Sentence, so don't, judge me based off of my guide. I do not run with this. I just did it so that way I could show an example of Click, so that we could see kind of how you have to be careful of how you keybind, so that we can get the most benefit out of it. And you can double up spells like I have. Just know what you have to do. If you want to cast Devotion Aura and you have Execution Sentence and your mouse is over a raid frame, you have to move your mouse off of the raid frame real quick and then press the keybind. So just be wary of that. For the most part, my overlapping and my key bindings are the same. So if I press E right now, I do Hand of Freedom. If I go over someone's target and I press E, I do Hand of Freedom. That way I don't have to worry about it. But there's just a couple of spells that are going to be like that, where you have to be wary of where your mouse is. Alright? So, next is going to be a simple add-on called Need to Know. Need to Know is going to provide you with bars that you can customize, and you have pretty much an unlimited amount of bars. I mean, when you look at this, you can have 4 different groups. If you'd like to have, your cooldowns, your buffs, and then the boss debuffs, you could do it if you'd like. Or you can have it all one big group, and you can have... I don't think there's a limit to the bars. I don't know why you need that many, and it's just kind of a clusterfuck, but you can if you would like. Alright, now to do it, to set the bars, all you have to do is right click it, choose what you would like to do with it. So I wanted Holy Shock cooldown, so I put in Holy Shock, and I pressed enter, and then you'll come and you'll do the bar type. Well, it's going to be a cooldown, but you can do buff, debuff, totem, internal cooldown. You can do all this different stuff, but I wanted to spell cooldown. Now I wanted it in this format for the time, and then that color, and that's all you have to do. That's it. And then once you're done, you need to know, gets rid of the bar, and now every time I cast Holy Shock, I can see it. Now this is the cooldown, so once this reaches 0, I can cast it again. And that's just an easy way, so that way the boss is going to be over here, everything's going to be up here, it's not going to be down here. So this just gives me a good way, so that way I can still look at where I'm going, and then slightly divert my eyes to see what the cooldown is, instead of looking all the way down here and trying to find it on my bars. So it's just an easier way to find to see your spell cooldowns. And I have my major cooldowns, my Holy Shock, what will be my Holy Prism, and my Avenging Wrath. Okay, so that's what I use that for. Next will be Nug Combo Bar. And it's just going to be this thing right here. Again, it's just another easy way to see how much holy power I have. You could look up here, but or you can move your frame, that's fine. I just like to have this because I like to have my bars up here for my health bars. I'm just used to looking up that way real quick if I need to see my health, or I have the raid frames here where I can see everybody's health, so I just don't want these in the way. So my eyes are closer to looking down here than they are up here. Okay, so I can look down faster here than I can here. So that's basically why I have it. It's just a faster way of me to be able to see I have this many holy power. And it works for anything that has combo points. The Maelstrom stacks for, or whatever they're called, for shamans, druids and rogues, combo points, whatever has that. Alright, so it works for all of those. Another must for healers or casters in general is going to be Quartz. Quartz is a customizable cast bar, and you can move it around just like this. It's very, very, very easy to customize, and what it will do is it will show, it's just like a cast bar, it shows you what you're casting, but it also puts into account your lag or your latency. So when it turns red, that means you can cast another spell. You don't have to wait to the end of it. That way you can get off all the spells you need to, so that way you're not wasting time in between each spell cast. You're getting them off immediately, you're getting them off faster, so that way you can keep people alive. And this is really good for PvP, but it's also good for PvP or PvE. But you'll have the target, so I have him next to mine, so once again my eyes are confined to a select space, so I'm not looking all over the screen for stuff. Focus target, I usually don't have a focus target. For PvP I do sometimes, so that's kind of why it's over here. Usually it's over here, but I'll move it back and forth, it's whatever. And then a pet, I don't care about pet, it's just there. Alright, Quartz in my opinion is a must. Next, we're wrapping up here, about 17 minutes, so it's not too bad. Is going to be Recount. For the love of God, I hate people and Recount. I like Recount, I hate people with Recount. One, Recount is not a way to judge skill. Okay, when you're if you're someone posting after every trash pull, after every mob, stop. All right, that's just pointless. Recount is a self-check add-on. I use it to see how I personally am doing. Not that I'm beating other people, but to know if I'm doing what I need to be doing. I know where my HPS should be at, so that way if it's low, am I dazing out, am I just not paying attention? I can note that there's an issue. Also, if you're changing up like a glyph or a spell that might change your DPS, this is a good way to tell. For those people that are out there saying, hey, link damage, go out and just download the damn add-on yourself. Alright? So, for everybody that's watching this, if someone asks you for Recount to post the damage, don't do it. Alright? Just don't do it. I hate it. Next is going to be Tidy Plates. Tidy Plates is a good add-on in my opinion because it puts a health bar over the boss, but it's thinner, it's not as big. It will put debuffs on the bar as well as combo points. So it's just another way to keep track of your debuffs to the boss. So if you're like a Shadow Priest and you have Shadow Word Pain, it'll tell you how long it's up there for, so you know when to renew it. And then it'll tell you combo points, and it's just an easier way and a thinner way that doesn't take up as much space to see the boss's health. And that's why I like Recount. Or not Recount. That's why I like Tidy Plates. It's tidy, you know, clean. And then of course DBM. DBM is always important. You should always update it every chance that you can. It helps you a lot. Sometimes there's a lot of shit going on in raids, and you may not always be able to keep track of it. A good example is normal, heroic, mystic, twins in High Maul. There's so much shit being cast and you have to do so much stuff that you can lose track easily. So Deadly Boss Mod will keep the timer on the side, so like for Enfeebling Roar, when you have to stack up, you can see that it's coming. As I'm healing, I can't keep track of all of the different spells that I need to. I know what I need to do when they're about to come up, but I can't keep track in my head of the timer. So I can look on the side, be like, alright, enfeebling roars in 30 seconds. Keep healing, look up. Alright, enfeebling roars in 10 seconds. Now I need to position myself and heal so I can get in position so when the enfeebling roar comes up, I can stack up. We can all split that damage debuff, and then I can run back away so that way, you know, I can dodge other stuff, you know, the shield charge and everything like that. So DBM is a must. You can set up so it makes sounds so that way your screen flashes. It's just a great add-on to have. So with that, that's going to wrap up my add-on video, what add-ons I use and kind of why I use them, with a little bit of how to set them up, but not too much. Again, if there's any specific add-on you would like to see more in depth, please just go ahead and let me know in the comments below, or email me at awkrin2@gmail.com. I love to hear from you guys. Please follow me at twitch.tv/gruffwow for a chance to watch me for chances to watch me play live and to win free stuff such as Blizzard gift cards and Riot gift cards. I know I have not been live streaming as much as I want to. My computer had some issues, so that is hopefully fixed, and I'll be live streaming on the weekends a little bit more. If you guys enjoyed and liked this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm up to 85 subscribers. That's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and try to keep pumping out these videos, at least 2 per month. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see in the future, please also leave that in the comments below or email me. Until next time,